Welcome back to another episode of Character Reads. My name is Symba, they, them, and this time we watched the South African Netflix show called Miseducation. I've got my major thoughts at the end, but let's jump right in because all of these characters I loved and hated, but mostly hated. First up, we have Brenda Haddade, which I might have said that wrong, and maybe I'll say a lot of things wrong, so forgive me. So, this story opens up with her daughter throwing a party, technically as a spoiled brat, but possibly also because she forgot with all of her own drama that's been going on. This is a corrupted politician, which I really find interesting because a lot of the South African shows have a corrupt politician trope somewhere in there. Anyway, the police come and interrupt the party to repossess a bunch of expensive things. There's definitely not a warm, motherly feel from this character. Let's just say she behaves in the way that some of the rich parents do. Not to be emotional safety, but to swoop in and save their child with their legal or illegal money. Next, we have Junior. This is our cute and nerdy character. Junior is a freshman heading to the rowing team. The captain of the rowing team, which I'll get to later, is his hero. He gets caught up in all of the drama because he reports a hazing incident that puts Sivu in the hot seat for not protecting him. He also falls for Natalie and she curbs him for her older teacher crush. Ultimately, just a very sad boy used as a pawn for several characters. Next, we have Afiwe, and this is Mbali's poor roommate, noticeably poor. She basically has to work in order to pay for school, and then the school announces that they're going to raise the fees for the next year. Because of this, she really pushes in terms of Caesar's campaign because he's running a kind of like for the people campaign. She's got strong convictions, a strong work ethic, like I think from most poor families, pretty much like pushed to the side, but still persevering. Some of her opinions about who's behind certain things are wrong, but she's an integrity person. What was weird to me was we find out that her father is a janitor at the school, which to me shows that her having to work to pay for school is just another classist thing in her life. Because if her father was an administrator, would she have to work to pay for school? Shouldn't all the employees' children have some sort of discount, no matter what their position is? Trying to keep the poor, poorer, and waving all kinds of false opportunities in their faces. Next, we have Caesar. Caesar is our pretentious character who is running for school's president on a people or for the people's campaign. He is a long-running contender. Like, I guess he's been president for a real long time, and he's rumored to be like 30 and not trying to graduate. Also, trigger warning, Caesar is a closeted homophobe who assaulted Jay for refusing his advances. He was a sure win for the election until the schemes of Mbali. I think it's interesting because they had either the choice to out him, which is wrong, or cheat the election, which is also wrong. But a bad man that poor Afiwe trusts. Next we have Tato. Ooh, so fine. This character is Jay's love interest after his assault by Caesar. He plays soccer and he really likes Jay and wants to go on real dates. However, Jay rejects him after finding out that he's trans because he assumes that he was lying and trying to take advantage of him, similar to what Caesar did, or how in the way that Caesar did. Jay spends most of the season regretting this decision. Next we have Pearl. Pearl is Sivu's original girlfriend, who they've been together for a long time. For me and my bias to straight couples, she kind of comes off as a pick-me and my man. Like, it was this weird scene between her and his mom about like who was gonna cut his food, and I was just gag, okay? But they seem to have a good relationship, like it's, healthy and shit or whatever. She doesn't trust Mbali for good reason. She doesn't want Sivu to win off of lies. And then when the fees must fall protests begin, you see a clear disconnect between them due to Sivu being raised by a white family. So they break up. Next, we have Natalie. This is Sivu's adopted sister who also knew Mbali from boarding school. Similar to Junior, she becomes a pawn for Mbali to get closer to Sivu and also have some friends. And Natalie is kind of a mess and just wants to be liked and accepted, but not paying attention to who likes and accepts her, like Junior. She uses Junior as her first in order to then throw herself onto a teacher and is becoming like this cliche varsity girl. She gets her heart broken by him, of course. We don't really see too much of a relationship between Natalie and Sivu until like the end when they also start being more honest with each other. But because Natalie helped Mbali cheat the election for Sivu, this unravels everything. And then Natalie realizes that Mbali was only after Sivu. Finally, he meets Sivu. Well, here is Sivu. Sivu is our other candidate running for student president. He was adopted by a white family and grew up rich and doesn't know certain languages and dialects that his peers do. Nonetheless, he's the captain of the rowing team, which is mostly white, and he's also known for going to the Olympics and getting a bronze medal. Initially, him running for president seems like just in order for someone new to be in office. With his longtime girlfriend, Pearl, by his side, he seems to be confident about his chances. Until his popularity starts to go on a downhill spiral when Junior outs him and calls him out for not protecting him during the initiation hazing incident. This begins a slippery slope of Sivu's mental health in terms of not knowing who he is and what he stands for. Unfortunately, that makes him easily manipulated by Mbali. And next we have Jay. And Jay is the very first character to embrace Mbali. He's a hustler and a bit of a scammer. He finds a way to make money and he's really tech savvy. Like a real tech savvy nerd that has access to a lot of the school's major tech. He doesn't know about a lot of Mbali's schemes and except for helping to rig the election. But that put him in an even worse suspended position. When the truth comes out, he realizes that Mbali had just used him and that his mom was right about varsity girls. And last but not least, we have Mbali. This character, at first, you might think is a victim of her mom's corrupt political action. She gives very much spoiled brat and loves the popularity and attention. She thinks she can escape that people might know who she is and who she's connected to by going to a school that's really far away. But quickly, she realizes that this is damn near impossible. So she starts scheming and advising a plan to get back on top. In her mind, if she can get the most popular boy at school to date her, as well as have friends again, it'll be all good. But it's too many lies. It's too many plots. Like, you can't mess with people's real lives and real emotions like this and receive no kind of blowback. She ends up getting everything she wanted briefly. But it all comes tumbling down because she keeps lying. Proving to everyone around her that she's actually just like her mother, who, guess what, swoops in at the end to save her and keep her at the school for the next semester, which we would find out if they get a season 2. And so honestly, I just wasn't sure about this show, but it was actually very entertaining. I really loved the clothes and the styles and all that stuff. And I really enjoyed South African TV because, I feel like I get to hear things language-wise that you don't normally hear. But what's up with all the South African shows only getting 6 episodes on Netflix? You know what? Don't answer that. I already know why. So tune in and let me know your thoughts. Peace.